Hello and welcome back to our Daily Women's Devotional. I Am Loved, edited by Carolyn Rathman Sutton. Today is September 13, and the title of our devotional is A Life Legacy, written by Patricia Sundu. The Bible verse is found in Genesis chapter 41, verse 12 through 16. A young Hebrew was there with us, a slave of the captain of the guard. We told him our dreams, and he interpreted them for us. Things turned out just as he said. The king sent for Joseph and said to him, I have had a dream, and no one can explain it. I have been told that you can interpret dreams. Joseph answered, I cannot, Your Majesty, but God will give a favorable interpretation. Patricia writes, I find several lessons in Genesis chapter 41, verses 12 through 16. First, even when Joseph was imprisoned, he left a lasting positive impression on his fellow prisoners. What kind of impression do we leave on others? This world needs people of good and noble character. Our deeds have to be entrenched in love because our God is a God of love. Beloved, let us love one another, for love is of God, and everyone who loves is born of God and knows God. We find this in 1 John chapter 4, verse 7. If we love, we will always exude a godly character, just as Joseph did while in prison. Second, remember Joseph was at one of the lowest points in his life, in prison. In a dungeon, but he did not let the situation steal his joy. The lesson we can draw from this passage is that no matter what situation we are in, we are still capable of doing something good and leaving an everlasting positive impact. If Joseph had wallowed in self-pity for being falsely accused and imprisoned, he would not have had the opportunity to interpret the Pharaoh's dream and witness to him. The final lesson from this passage is that we should always attribute our capabilities to God. That's exactly what Joseph did in verse 16. Joseph acknowledged the power and presence of God in his interpretation of dreams. He did not bask in his own success and glory. Joseph was aware of the fact that God was the one responsible for his capability to interpret dreams. Do we always acknowledge God's grace in our lives? Or are we the kind of women who think we are able to do everything in our own wisdom? May the Lord guide us in everything we do, whether we are in the dungeons of this life or not. May we always acknowledge God in our successes. May our characters leave a positive, everlasting impact on the people we interact with. Patricia Sundu is a radio and television presenter working with the Malawi Broadcasting Corporation. She is the firstborn in a family of 3 children and a member of the Kabula Hill Seventh-day Adventist Church in Malawi. I pray that we are all able to leave a legacy that reflects Christ and shows that we were a child of God. A woman who honored both her husband and her children, and above all, a woman who honored God. Sometimes it's easier said than done, but in every aspect of our life, whether we're a housewife or we're out in the field working or we're a full-time student, whether we have children or we haven't gotten to that stage of life yet, let's remember what legacy we want others to remember us by. Because after all, after we're gone, that's all that remains. I hope that you're blessed, you enjoyed today's devotional, and I will see you again tomorrow.